Now Joe Biden will head to Paul Ryan's home state right here in Wisconsin. It's an afternoon speech here in La Crosse, and we're going to be live here for all of it. Live in downtown La Crosse tonight, Ben Handelman, Fox 6 News.
Thank you. Now with a closer look at the debate, UWM Professor of Governmental Affairs Mordecai Lee joins us. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Let's get right into it. A lot of substance in this debate.
Did the Obama administration handle security well, or are they going to blame the Republicans because Republicans cut the budget for security? This is great. This is really bringing the issues home. And both of them had good answers. Both of them attacked each other. Now the question is sort of how did public opinion tilt in terms of the answer?
Interesting, the economy was kind of nestled in there after those domestic and foreign policy questions that were asked. We'll get back to that. In the meantime, talk a little bit about the body language, if you will, the demeanor of Vice President Biden to chuckled a lot. Did that appear to be, or, you know, what was the substance of that, do you think?
You know, Joe Biden likes to come across as the guy from Scranton, and he behaved tonight like the guy from Scranton. In other words, I'm not going to be a stilted, programmed spinmeister. I'm sitting next to this guy. If he says something I don't believe, I'm going to show in my face that I don't believe it. And their debating styles were very different. One comes from the Senate, where there's a lot of interrupting that happens. That's Joe Biden. Whereas Ryan comes from the House, where there's a lot of sort of set-piece kind of speeches. And so what you saw was institutionally, they're different debating styles.
Very interesting, very interesting. You know, the one rule in a debate is you don't want to screw it up. No one screwed anything up. But there was one question that stood out to you, I know, where you felt both of the candidates kind of were at a loss for an answer.
Right. Martha did a wonderful job. She asked a question out of left field. She said, what do you and your character bring to being the vice president? These guys have memorized answers about abortion, about Libya, about Syria. They didn't have the vaguest idea what to say. And in effect, Brad, you're right. We saw the most of them personally by that question.
A lot of pressure on the vice president tonight to offset even what President Obama said, you know, boy, I probably could have been a little bit more aggressive. Did he deliver that? And also, how did the moderator handle that interaction, in your opinion?
Right. I think they both got their shots in. For example, Biden often turned to the camera and said, folks, who do you trust? Whereas Ryan, for example, he said, do you know that the unemployment in Scranton today is higher than it was when Obama became president? That was also a great shot. So they both got their shots in. And I think she did a better job than last week because she was sitting so close to them. She was able to interrupt them, almost lean over and say, stop, I want to ask a different question.
Yeah, that 10%, 8% unemployment thing in Scranton really was sort of a leveling moment, if you will. What do you think the headline is tomorrow? Do you think it was a draw and we don't know where it's going to go from here?
I think the headline is going to be slugfest. These guys gave as good as they got. They both hit each other really hard, but they both got hit pretty hard. So I guess it's a draw, as it should be. It was about policy, and that's what's good about
it. Really was.
Mordecai, thank you.
Well, Vice President Joe Biden's going to be in La Crosse tomorrow for a campaign event. Of course, Fox 6's Ben Handelman will be there. He's already there tonight. Look for our live coverage tomorrow. And